Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this AxisVM training course, and the topic for today will be the grid. Um, we already talked about the grid in one of the previous lessons. I don't remember exactly which one, but we mentioned because it's a key element of the graphical area. Anyway, it is important to talk about the grid specifically in one video of this course. So the grid is this set of lines that we have in our graphical area. We have the major lines, the zero lines in this orange. And these orange lines, this vertical one is the x0, and the horizontal one is the y0. So in this point here is the origin of the system. And we have these not black lines, but these gray and not so defined lines in all the directions. They define a grid. And the characteristic that these lines have with the standard installation is that they are equally spaced, and we can zoom in a little. So when we move the cursor free, so you see that the coordinates are also free, they are not locked to any distance. But we can see a little closer, coming to settings menu, then options, and we have one of the options here, grid and cursor. So here we make a definition of how the grid will be displayed and the dimensions that we have on the grid. So what can we see here? It is first, display or not the grid. Okay, if I turn this off, so I don't see any grid. Then we can have, let us display it again. Then we can have the grid displayed in grid lines or in dots. So it's another way. I prefer in lines. So let us grid lines. And we have this information, which is very important, the delta in each of the axes, which is the spacing between one grid line to the following one. So it is 1 meter. So let us try to see. So x more or less 0 and more or less 1 and 2 and 3. And on the other direction also y 0, 1 and 2. So you see that it is spaced from the units that are defined on that particular window. So this is the spacement between grid lines. Another important point, it is this setting here, because this is the snap or the interval that the mouse jumps between the grid lines. So we have the same definition. So instead of 1 meter, we have 0.1 meter in each of the axes. So this means that we will see jumps of a tenth part of the division. Let's try to draw something. So let us start here. And you see that the cursor jumps. Okay, let us zoom in more. And if you see in the coordinate window, you see that moves. I'm moving in only one axis, but it moves on the division that is defined on that setting. And we have one more information, that is if we click in the control key in your keyboard, we can even split this smaller. So if we say 1, we'll respect this division, but if we say, for example, 0.5, let us zoom in again, and okay, I'm not clicking on the keyboard, so it jumps 0.1 each time. Now I will click control, and you see that it starts to click half of that distance. So this is very important, because that definition allows the user to control what is going on in terms of the grid and this mouse snap definition also. I hope that this explanation it is clear and good enough so that you can start also taking advantage of the full potential that you have with this grid and the mouse snap inside AxisVM. Any help, you know already, we are here to give you all the support you may need.